And there is another concern that the Auditor General has raised, that this particular supplier was non-responsive at the initial stage. How is it possible that they ended up getting this tender? I don't think there is any explanation.
So I think for clarity, the attempt to rejig the dates to fit within the procurement cycle is unacceptable just by dint of your own submissions. If I would have seen a date acknowledging this amendment by Narinyo within the time frames, we would not be asking this question. But this is a letter that could be printed in cyber in Maralal. Unless, Governor, you have some explanation, but you need to be outraged. Because you are the one getting embarrassed, but there are people around you who are doing these things and bringing records to Senate that do not make sense.
Chair, they think we don't read. I think that's the assumption.
Now, let's go beyond that, and maybe for time, because we have established that these are records that are not admissible.
Senator, one day, I know you're going to run for governor.
Governor,
and I hope you'll become a governor.
Governor order. Governor order. You will talk to Cherargei directly outside this meeting. You have procured.
But I don't buy tea.
Governor, let's come back to this, Senator Cherargei. We will be running away from the issue, and for 104 million shillings, 104 million shillings, not small money, 104 million shillings. What did you buy, and who received it? You know, that was a thrust of this audit query, that analysis of the food procured per type, distribution lists and deliveries, bases used for identification were not provided for audit review. What you have done in your response is to clarify the policy. How do we know that 104 million, if it bought rice and cooking oil, it was given to the children of Samburu and not children of another area, or it didn't go to people's pockets? That, to me, is a most significant question that we must deal with here. How do we know that 104 million benefited the children and the people of Samburu? Governor, I think that's a question. And even for you, you'd be happy to explain how that 104 million got to the people of Samburu. Where is the evidence?
Well, there's a beneficiary list in the file. And, Senator, we have a CEO here for education who buys this food and distributes.
Yeah, where is he?
Why don't you allow him to say something?
Yeah. Can you tell us, can you give us that assurance? Is it the guy with the other discredited letter?
Okay, let's hope this one is going to be better.
Yeah. So, Chair, attached, there is that...
Sorry, who is this?
I'm David Lanakula, Chief Officer, Education. So what I'm saying is that there is a distribution list for all the ECD centers.
Annex what?
I think it is just in that Annex 20B. 20A, 20A.
20A, just point us to it.
And there are also deliveries acknowledging receipt of the same.
Yeah, there are annexures, just run us through them.
Yeah.
Chair, I can confirm my set of documents does not have what that officer is speaking about.
Officer, my set of documents, Annex 20A, has got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 delivery notes.
Yes.
So tell us what they mean.
Those are the deliveries to the ECD centers, the named ECD centers.
So these 5 account for the 104 million?
No, it's just a sample of that. We have a very big file for the deliveries, all the ECD centers. And then we also have the distribution lists for all the centers in Samburu County. But Chair, when we talk about education, I want to say the 104 million is not for education only. But
how much of it was education?
Education, what I'm talking about here is 10 million for Nari.
10 million.
Yes.
So,
But you see, I think we also have other food substances that are being given out, say for example in the health sector. But for us, we are talking about the 10 million for Nari.
so you are 10 million out of 104 million.
Yes.
So who accounts for the remaining 94 million?
I think that is also a query. That's what we are also trying to get from the auditors.
Yeah, please give us the answer, because the auditor cannot give an answer.
Thank you, Chair. What auditor queried are two payments, one amounting to 1.9 and the other one is 2.5. That's the annexes that we have provided for.
I am reading the auditor's report, which says that out of 348 million, an amount of 104 million was incurred on food and ration. However, analysis of the food procured per type, distribution list of the beneficiaries and deliveries, the basis used on beneficiaries identification, selection, and the acknowledgement confirmation of receipt of the food and rations by the beneficiaries were not provided for audit review. We have not made up that query. It is there. It was in your management letter, in your draft certificate, in the final certificate.
And
give
Chair,
us the answer to
and
that.
Chair, what we have here in the list of beneficiaries, these are schools.
Which is
When
10 million.
schools receive the foodstuffs, how do they indicate that they have received? Because then, as part of evidence, we don't just need a list. Morijo, ECD, Lelere, Kujita, Loinganyai,
If you look at Annexure 2A, there is that delivery note.
2A.
Yes.
2A, 20A.
There is the delivery 20A, sorry. There is a delivery note. This one has even...
Is a delivery not signed by the school or it is signed by the receiving officers? Because I'm imagining that the food from the supplier comes to some receiving center and they issue a delivery note, of which then an invoice is given against that delivery note for payment. But when you distribute the schools in the food in the ECD centers, who makes sure that the food has reached the destination, the last mile?
There is a sign when the teacher receives the food, they sign against the delivery note.
I think the Chief Officer Education has done fairly well for himself, because he has said he takes responsibility for 10 million. And the samples that he has given us here are for the first one. The first school received 2 bags of rice. The second one, 2 bags of rice, that's 4. The other one, 2 bags of rice, that's 6. The other one, 3 bags of rice, that's 9. The other one, 2 bags of rice, that's 11. He has accounted for 11 bags of rice. The total amount is 100 million. So, if the chief officer has provided some samples, who is supposed to provide samples for the remaining 90 million? The remaining 94 million?
Chair.
At least Chief Officer Education amejitetea.
Chair.
You ingine ilienda wapi?
Chair, this is what I'm saying. What we have here, we have just sampled the school. In fact, the files are very, very big.
No, Chief Officer, you have said in your department you can account for 10 million.
Yes.
Leave it there. Who accounts for the 94 million?
Yeah, and some food went to the hospitals. Do you have Chief Officer Health to account for the rest? Or the number of bags that went to the hospitals?
I think under health, you also you can also find
Can you speak for health?
No.
Yeah, then let the person who's competent to do so and point us to the supporting
And Chair, the
documentation.
chief officer should know that just like he's giving us samples to show some deliveries, the sample that the Auditor General went with on the question of delivery of cooking oil has left us with very many questions about what is going on there. So we need to have a clearer picture of everything. In fact, if it were possible, Chair, we would sample every single line of foodstuff under this program, because we can see there are problems there. Whenever we encounter entities here that come and
backdate documents and appear like the procurement process was rigged to favor people, it's questions we have to raise for the people of Samburu. So you, because you have carried your burden